What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of The 8 Below Show. Welcome everyone to 8 Below. Thanks for being here, guys, to the best entertainment-related show here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. One of my favorite Star Wars video games is Star Wars The Force Unleashed, and then the sequel to that, Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2, I really enjoyed as well. And I've always wondered if, that being Lucasfilm and EA, if they were all planning on continuing this franchise or this sub-series of the overall franchise of Star Wars. Were they planning on making a sequel to it to really kind of round out the trilogy, if that was kind of the idea, or if they just want to continue this into a long, withstanding kind of franchise for EA? And that is a question that we are going to try to talk about here today in this segment of the show. The Force Unleashed 3, guys, is going to be the focal point of what I want to talk about in this segment of the show. So let's talk about it, guys. There's been a lot of rumors. There's been a lot of rumblings, supposed confirmation that The Force Unleashed 3 is in active development. So in an article written by Michael Austin of Screen Rant, according to one insider, Star Wars The Force Unleashed 3 is currently in development, meaning the franchise may soon make a return. So guys, like I said, I personally really liked The Force Unleashed and The Force Unleashed 2. Been wanting to see continuation. It's one of my favorite Star Wars video game titles, and was my favorite up until we got Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Of course, guys, I like the Knights of the Old Republic, but there was something about The Force Unleashed that I really enjoyed. And so it's exciting to think that this series may make a return. As of right now, Star Wars games seem to be doing better than ever. Between the resurgence of the Battlefront franchise and Jedi Fallen Order, along with other EA Star Wars projects on the way, fans have plenty of fun, ongoing series to choose from. Now, rumors are suggesting an old fan favorite Star Wars game might be making a return sometime in the near future, with a possible Star Wars The Force Unleashed 3. Featuring the apprentice of Darth Vader known as Starkiller, this series will revolutionize Star Wars games by redefining Force powers. Some of the feats Starkiller performed in the first two Force Unleashed games are more impressive than anything seen before in the Star Wars myth. Add in the great performances, especially Sam Witwer's performance as the lead character, and The Force Unleashed had the makings of a great video game franchise. However, after the first two installments, 2008 Star Wars The Force Unleashed and 2010 Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2, a third game was never attempted. According to some recent rumors, however, that may change soon. So is it on the way, guys? That's the big question here. According to insider Daniel Richman, known for predicting the release of various Disney projects, Star Wars The Force Unleashed 3 is being worked on at the moment. Richman told his followers on Patreon that the next installment in the cult favorite series is in a very early stage of development. If these rumors are to be believed, it will be a long wait before the Star Wars The Force Unleashed 3 finds its release date. And that is 100%, I think definitely spot on, guys. If it's in early development, it may be a number of years until we even see a teaser or anything of that nature. Now, they very well may show off like a logo of The Force Unleashed 3 before that, but I would say that this game is, if this is accurate, it's definitely, probably a few years away. Since it would be the first game in its release, or series to release on anything more powerful than an Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, Star Wars The Force Unleashed 3 has the potential to be quite an epic experience. Just imagine the overpowered Force abilities and massive set pieces the series is known for, but this time powered by the much more advanced PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X systems. And I gotta say, guys, that's very true. I think PS5 and Xbox Series X could really take this to the next level. I think not only is this a fan favorite series in the Star Wars universe, but I think that this could be, it could really create a massive following. Now, many people are arguing that they want Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2 before we would get a Force Unleashed 3, but there's nothing to really, in my mind, that says that you can't have both of those being worked on at the exact same time. Unfortunately, it's hard to believe Richmond's claims. Since The Force Unleashed as a series is no longer part of Star Wars official canon under Disney, a true sequel wouldn't make much sense. Perhaps EA is planning for a spiritual successor to the franchise, building on its mechanics but telling a new story that fits with the current canon. It's impossible to know for sure, but Star Wars The Force Unleashed 3 is probably something fans shouldn't hold their breath for. So, look, when it comes to the canon and such, I think, with EA, as I've obviously, I've talked in the past about this, how I felt like they weren't doing a very good job whatsoever with the Star Wars IP. And Disney seemed to be fine with what EA was doing, even though I didn't think it was very good whatsoever, with, Battlefront and all the issues that they had. I think it was Battlefront 2. Having all the different microtransactions and issues there, Disney seemed to be fine with it as long as they're making money. And so at the end of the day, guys, I do agree that if The Force Unleashed does come back, it probably will fit with the current canon. Although, maybe Disney wouldn't care, because it doesn't seem like Disney cared about pretty much what EA's done up to this point. I'm sure they're really happy with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, but at the end of the day, Disney seems to be pretty hands-off-ish when it comes to the video game side of things. Now, maybe, we don't know everything, guys. Obviously, they may be more involved than we realize, but I don't think there would be really much problem with doing The Force Unleashed 3, even if it's not... doesn't fit with the current canon. Now, I would love to see it fit with canon in one way, shape, or form. So maybe if they do like a soft reboot, kind of reintroduce people to The Force Unleashed, and it does fit with the current canon, that could be something really special as well. Here's the thing, guys. Do I believe that this is a game that is coming? It's really hard to say. I mean, I at this point, I'm kind of 50-50 on it, because personally, I feel that EA, since they had so much success with Respawn Entertainment making Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I feel like Jedi Fallen Order 2, or a sequel to that, is most likely what's coming next. And then, of course, The Force Unleashed 3, if that is something that's, going to be coming, it would probably come after Jedi Fallen Order 2, or maybe even after a new Battlefront. I think that EA's probably greenlighting a number of Star Wars projects, and to think that Force Unleashed 3 isn't at least a consideration, I think is certainly, is something that I believe should happen, and I think it's definitely something that's being talked about, because I think it would be a disservice to The Force Unleashed if you're not at least talking about the continuation of it, especially because it's a fan favorite. But those are my thoughts, guys, and sure, we don't know much right now about Star Wars The Force Unleashed 3 outside of the potential that it's being worked on at this point in time. But I'll be sure to give you guys more information as it comes out. Let me know, though, in the comment section down below. Do you want to see Star Wars The Force Unleashed 3, or would you rather see a different Star Wars project come out? Let me know. And for more Star Wars The Force Unleashed 3 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. We've talked on the YouTube channel about the Fallout franchise, the past, present, and the future of the franchise moving forward, and I wanted to talk about Fallout Miami. I found that there was a good amount of people who didn't even know that Fallout Miami is being worked on at this point, and there's definitely, game footage and things of that nature that have been shown from Fallout Miami. Obviously, those of you who are big Fallout fans know about Fallout Miami, but I know we've talked a lot about Fallout 5, and I wanted, though, to talk about Fallout Miami. This, guys, is a DLC-sized mod for Fallout 4, and I wanted to kind of talk about it, give you guys everything that we know so far about it. We've had, early releases of it, or at least they're kind of showing us a little bit about, what it's all about. And we don't have necessarily a confirmation as far as the release date for this, but this is something that is pretty exciting and maybe gives you some more time in between waiting for, Fallout 5 to come out and things of that nature. So let's talk about it. So, guys, Fallout Miami, this is a new adventure in the vacation wasteland. Fallout Miami is an upcoming DLC-sized mod for Fallout 4 with an original setting, complete with its own engrossing main quest, interesting side quests, and characters, including new companions. The central theme of our story is the struggle between order and freedom. The setting for this new adventure is the post-apocalyptic vacation wasteland of Miami Beach, once a popular tourist destination attracting rich and glamorous visitors, both foreign and domestic. It now plays host to an eclectic assortment of factions and societies, each with its own culture and approach to the challenges of this new post-nuclear world. The once great slaver kingdom of Sunshine Cove has recently come under threat by a horde of automobile-worshipping nomads calling themselves the Nuclear Patriots. While Miami's various factions vie for control over the vacation wasteland, a long-forgotten remnant of the old world slumbers beneath the waves, waiting for an opportunity to reclaim America once again. So, just from that, synopsis of what this is all about, guys, it gets me really excited for, learning more about it. Obviously, we've talked, like I said, about, Fallout 5 in particular, the hopes that we have for that title. You guys can check out all of the Fallout content here on the YouTube channel, but we talked a lot about Fallout 5 and the things that we want to see moving forward in this franchise. Obviously, Fallout 76 was definitely a step in the wrong direction, but it only takes one game to really take us back into a positive direction, and a mod like this could be something that also could really help with that kind of building, kind of putting those building blocks together to really bring Fallout back to a really great spotlight. And you're going to encounter dangerous new creatures, explore an exotic landscape, pick your side in an ideological conflict, and the return of player choice. There's even an official reveal trailer, guys. This is the official FalloutMiami.com website is where I'm getting all this information from. They've got screenshots. They've got, of course, the reveal trailer that came out. There's a lot here, guys, that they really have. Now, what I want to talk about, though, in particular, this came out in the fall, which was October 18th. This came out. This was a progress update on where we stand at this point in time with Fallout Miami. So, Kay Constantine, who's the creative director of Fallout Miami, had this to say. Summer's behind us, and we're back with another Fallout Miami development update. Hope you all enjoyed the environmental showcase we released recently. Things have gotten pretty crazy this year, so we hope you and yours are doing as good as possible, all things considered. Current events haven't stopped us from working on Miami, and we're stoked to show you a few of the things we've gotten done over the past months. So they had a number of videos that, like, obviously the progress updates, guys, that they've been showing us. Grim Fandango, and composed by Garrett Bilo, will haunt players as they explore the remnants of Miami's Bayshore region at night. That's Cubano's territory, and the goal of this track is to capture the feeling of that old world Cuban charm still clinging to life in the vacation wasteland. We've already talked about most of the factions you can expect to see in Miami, but most doesn't mean all. We're not going into any detail about these guys. Gotta keep y'all guessing, right? But here's a look at some tribal coconut masks. So, got some, artwork that they've been consistently releasing, guys, as we've been getting hopefully closer and closer to Fallout Miami here. The group wearing these is pretty infamous. They cause a lot of trouble for plenty of people. Concept art is by Marco Lipovac. Most of the 3D models for them are ready, so we can't wait to show them to you next time when we have them implemented in the game, adorning the faces of their mean as hell owners. So lots of different images, guys. I mean, it's definitely coming along. I think that is something that we've got to, I got to state is that, Fallout Miami, they are certainly making progress. It'll be interesting to see, like, when we get a firm release date. I'm sure probably after the current world events and such, they might have a better idea at some point in 2021. Since they had their start at the time of the Great War and were originally the workers of the Sunshine Hotel and Casino, we wanted to more accurately represent this in the outfits worn by their descendants. These staff uniforms would embody the strict hierarchy of Sunshine Cove in its early days. If you were at the hotel and wearing one when Mr. Goodman began styling himself as a slaver king, then you had the honor of working for him. If you were a guest just visiting, you were now his property. So you see the different characters, sketches and things of that nature. You see kind of the apparel which I'm assuming you're going to have like unlockable items and things of that nature, guys, that you will be able to, unlock throughout the course of the journey, I would assume. It's going to be very interesting, this being a mod for Fallout 4, how this is all, going to tie in. Sounds like a full-blown story and such. So it sounds like, it'll be very interesting to see how this all kind of ties in with Fallout 4. Last year, we showed off the concept art for some of our harvestable plants, but we didn't talk about the ones meant to just enhance the look and feel of the vacation wastelands wilder spots. Mustafa Ali has done an amazing job realizing these weird, exotic plant designs. And they are certainly weird, guys. There is absolutely no debate about that. Got the center school. You got the gas car. A lot of these guys look really, I gotta say, it looks really good. And I'm excited to see more of what they're planning on doing. But this progress update is pretty great, guys. It's important for us that locations in the vacation wasteland make sense and fill some role both before the war and presently when players explore them 200 years later or after. The museum itself is in a rough part of town, one you'll be passing through soon after your arrival in Miami. All right, I'd call that an update. We're always working on more, and while we love to show it to you guys, we think it's better for us and you when things are a little more spaced out. Give us some time to focus on development. Make sure what we're showing you is as close to final as possible, since things can always change or be revised. Catch y'all later. Stay safe out there. So, what he said, I think we got to really look at that last sentence, guys, or next to last sentence. Give us some time to focus on development and make sure what we're showing you is as close to final as possible. So let's talk about that. So when we look at that, guys, close to final as possible, I would say that it seems like we're getting these updates relatively, probably like every quarter, or, they've done a pretty good job actually of kind of showing us or giving us these progress updates. So what I'm thinking is that we'll probably see more, most likely like Q1 or Q2, quarter one or quarter two of next year, 2021, and that'll be the time that we get the official release date of this thing, and hopefully it'll be in 2021. I hope it's not delayed even further than that, but I got my fingers crossed, and I'm sure you guys do too, that this comes out sooner rather than later. Obviously, we want it to be a finished product. We want it to be finalized. We want it to be something that we're going to be able to dive into, and there's not going to be a lot of bugs and issues and problems. We want to be able to dive into this thing and really sink our teeth into it, especially because this might be the last thing coming out before the announcement of Fallout 5 and such, or whatever the next project is in the Fallout universe. I'm excited about it, guys. Let me know, though, in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about Fallout Miami, and what are the things that you guys want to see? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Fallout Miami content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. The Game Awards is certainly becoming a household name when it comes to just the gaming industry as a whole, and it's one of the most viewed, I could definitely say, when it comes to just Game Awards, when it comes to showing off new projects that are up and coming. It's one of the best, times of the year for all of us, especially with the current world situation and such, for all of us to come together and be able to watch the Game Awards from the perspective of seeing, of course, what games and celebrating video games as a whole, but also seeing what's up and coming. What does the future hold for gaming? And that's what's really exciting, from just gaming, from different games that are being developed, to esports players, to esports personalities. It's a very exciting event. And what was one of the biggest takeaways for me at the Game Awards, guys, in 2020 was none other than the Callisto Protocol. This is an upcoming sci-fi horror video game, guys, from the makers of Dead Space. That being Glenn Schofield, guys, one of the creators of Dead Space, making this game called the Callisto Protocol. I thought it was Calypso Protocol, but it's called the Callisto Protocol. And this is none other than what seemed to be a spiritual successor to Dead Space, without a question of a doubt. However, this is actually set within the PUBG universe, which is a very interesting turn of events to me, because when I first saw it, and you hear that's Glenn Schofield, obviously creator of Dead Space, this is supposed to be the true, nod, the spiritual successor to Dead Space, but hold your horses is not quite that. So let's talk about it. So guys, this is an article written by Joe Scribbles of IGN. The Callisto Protocol, the new sci-fi horror from the creator of Dead Space, is definitely set in the universe of PUBG. We just don't know quite how right now. Announced at the Game Awards 2020, the Callisto Protocol comes from Glenn Schofield and his new studio Striking Distance, a developer set up specifically to create a narrative experience within the world of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. However, when the Callisto Protocol was shown off, the game looked far more like Dead Space than PUBG. However, speaking of IGN, a spokesperson for Striking Distance confirmed that the game is indeed that same narrative experience and connected to PUBG, but wouldn't say exactly how. So first of all, I love this concept. I mean, that it's basically, what Striking Distance was trying to go for here was a narrative experience within PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. But what's really cool is that what that narrative experience is a sci-fi horror game, which obviously Glenn Schofield has a lot of familiarity with Dead Space, and obviously it's a labor of love, I mean, without a doubt. This reminds me of Rainbow Six. I mean, obviously, guys, we're getting Rainbow Six Quarantine, and then you got, of course, Rainbow Six and Rainbow Six Siege and whatever's coming next with Rainbow Six. This kind of reminds me of something like that. So you got PUBG, and now you're going to be getting the Callisto Protocol, which is kind of like the horror, side of PUBG. I just love that concept. So when we read further, that connection could be very interesting. PUBG's background narrative has gotten increasingly in-depth over time, but Callisto Protocol is set on one of Jupiter's moons in the year 2320. Whereas the Battle Royale is based around the story of a multi-billionaire that organizes mercenary battles in his raised fictional homeland. This could be an interesting one to explain. We've definitely spotted some Dead Space connections in the game, and we've also had thoughts about how to turn PUBG into a narrative game, but neither crosses over quite yet. So, look, here's the deal, guys. Is the Callisto Protocol the next Dead Space? To me, when I look at this, I say absolutely. It has to be Glenn Schofield. I mean, this is the guy who created Dead Space. And, for those of you who don't know, guys, if you've been around my channel whatsoever, you know that I'm a huge Dead Space fan. If you're new, Dead Space is one of my favorite horror games of all time. I have spoken on this channel many times. Speaking that, I really want to have a Dead Space 4. Seeing this, the Callisto Protocol, could this be that kind of, the cure for the itch, I guess you could say, for another Dead Space? Potentially. Now, PUBG, I'm not the biggest fan of PUBG, but the fact of the matter is that I think that this could be very interesting. You got a game that it's set within the PUBG universe, but it's a sci-fi horror title. So how those worlds kind of collide is going to be interesting. Maybe a lot of the characters from PUBG, that playable characters and such, are also going to be in this in a narrative way, going after these creatures or something in the Callisto Protocol. It'll be very interesting. I have wanted so badly to get back, into that kind of the style of that claustrophobic feel, the necromorphs that are like behind you at any step of the way in Dead Space. I think that Callisto, I got real vibes of Dead Space, but I also got vibes of Alien when the creature came near our character in the announcement trailer. It kind of was like, it was drooling really bad, reminded me of Alien, and just kind of, it gave me those Alien vibes, but it also gave me, of course, the much bigger vibes were Dead Space. And what I was actually hoping for, to be honest with you guys, during the Game Awards, when they were showing this trailer, I was like, if this is a new Dead Space, or if this, are they going to show us Isaac Clarke at the end of this or something? I really felt like, could this be the next Dead Space? Is this like the soft reboot of Dead Space? Is it Dead Space 4? And then it comes out as the Callisto Protocol. Then we find out that Glenn Schofield's the guy behind it. Guys, I'm excited. I'm really excited. How this ties into PUBG and the PUBG universe is yet to be seen, guys, but this is the Dead Space creator creating a game that is similar in probably a number of ways. Sci-fi horror, the Callisto Protocol, guys. I'll have a lot more content for you guys regarding the Callisto Protocol and what this could mean for Dead Space moving forward. Let me know, though, guys. What were your thoughts on the Callisto Protocol? Did this give you the Dead Space vibes? Did it give you Alien vibes, PUBG vibes for some reason? What is your thought on the Callisto Protocol? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more the Callisto Protocol content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. We've talked on the YouTube channel about Resident Evil 8 in particular, that being Resident Evil Village. We've been talking about, the previous Resident Evil games up to this point, past, present, and what we're looking at in the future. And one of the titles, since we've been getting some of the remakes from the earlier titles in the Resident Evil franchise, there is one that is really coming to the forefront that's, been semi-confirmed, that is in development, that being the Resident Evil 4 remake. And so what I want to go ahead and do, guys, in this segment of the show is talk about everything that we know so far about the Resident Evil 4 remake. And obviously, guys, Resident Evil Village or Resident Evil 8 Village is still on the way. It's still scheduled for 2021. The question, though, now remains, Capcom is really ramping up their production when it comes to the Resident Evil franchise, and with good reason. Capcom is working on a Resident Evil 4 remake, and this is an article written by Andy Robinson of VGC. So apparently the sources reveal that Capcom has greenlit a Resident Evil 4 remake. Following its reimaginings of Resident Evil 2 and 3, multiple development sources have told VGC that the Resident Evil 4 remake has now entered full production with an estimated release window in 2022. So the new studio, founded by former Platinum Games head Tetsuya Minamani, which has been preparing for the project since 2018. However, similar to 2020's Resident Evil 3, was directed by company Redworks, Capcom's internal teams and other external studios are likely to lend significant development resources. So it's understood that the remake has the blessing of original game director Shin Mikami, who officially declined an approach to lead the project himself, but has provided informal advice on its direction. The studio helming the remake has been in operation since 2018 and is comprised of many former Platinum and Capcom employees. So, 2005 Resident Evil 4 is Capcom's highest rated game of all time, according to review aggregation site Metacritic, with sales totaling 7.5 million copies across various platforms. Then the horror installment is regarded as one of the most influential games of the 2000s, with its off-the-shoulder viewpoint, in particular, widely adopted by many third-person shooters that followed. So the game overhauled much of the series' tropes up until that point, with survival elements such as scarce ammunition made less relevant and a faster, intense pace introduced. So one of the things, though, that I've read about, guys, regarding the Resident Evil 4 remake is that, now there have been leaks that have come out about this project, but there's been leaks, which this is kind of getting back to the total amount of copies that were sold and such, according to Metacritic, of course, that Resident Evil 4 apparently is being, from these leaks that have come out, is stating that it's going to play completely different. The remake is going to play completely different than the original Resident Evil 4. To me, I wonder the reasoning for that, simply because why change something in a drastic way, whether it's gameplay, characters, whatever you may call it, that they're planning on changing about it, if these leaks are true, of course. Why would you change a bunch of different things and make it play different if this was your highest rated game of all time? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, at least. We'll have to kind of, obviously I'll be giving you guys updates and such as we get closer and closer, and if this game does get announced. So In the 15 years since its release, Resident Evil 4 has been ported and remastered dozens of times, but never fully remade. So the game was released with new content for PlayStation 2 shortly after its GameCube debut, and a Wii version arrived in 2007 with motion control aiming. A HD remaster was later released for PS3, Xbox 360, and PC in 2011, and then again for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 in 2016. 2020's Resident Evil 3 features a number of potential nods to forthcoming remake, including the introduction of parasite zombies, which appear similar to Resident Evil 4's Plagueis, and at least one sequence similar to a QuickTime event, which featured heavily in the fourth game. So, although many original Resident Evil 4 team members remain at Capcom, it's unclear whether they have any involvement with M2's project. One person with knowledge of development told VGC the remake is being directed by a newcomer to the series. So that's very interesting as well. So it seems like, guys, some people are returning back, but it also seems like there's going to be a lot of fresh faces as well, which, I mean, obviously, guys, when you go into the unknown like that and you have like new fresh faces, sometimes it can feel different. And that's where I get a little bit concerned when you hear from leaks and such that Resident Evil 4's remake is going to be totally different from Resident Evil 4, the original. That concerns me a little bit when you hear those things because, you know, if you're going to change it significantly, could you actually end up ruining Resident Evil 4 for everyone? That's something that does kind of concern me. But we'll have to wait and see. Got to give them a chance without a doubt. Now, the next entry in Capcom's long-running series will be Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village, offering a continuation of the revamped first-person mechanics introduced with 2017's Resident Evil 7. I've stated this, guys, Resident Evil 7 is my favorite, without a doubt, my favorite Resident Evil game ever made. I just loved the gritty, very dark, and just very unnerving experience that brought, you know, with Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 8 or Village seems to be more of kind of a pairing between the action of maybe Resident Evil 5 and the horror that was Resident Evil 7. Kind of put those two things together, and you could even we could have on our hands, guys, one of the best Resident Evils ever made if it's done right with Resident Evil 7, or I'm sorry, Resident Evil 8 Village. So it'll be very interesting. Now, Resident Evil 8 will mark the third consecutive annual release for the series following 2019's Resident Evil 2 and this April's Resident Evil 3. So the other part of this, guys, that's interesting is Resident Evil 4, the remake, enters full production estimated for 2022 release. So this one is coming to us from Suraj Singh of NME. And he wrote this article. Resident Evil 4 will reportedly be the next game to be revamped as part of the series' recent string of remakes. The game has entered full production and is targeted for a 2020 release, according to a report from Video Game Chronicles. The news comes days after Capcom's Resident Evil 3 remake, and according to the report, Resident Evil 4's original game director, Shinji Mikami, will provide informal advice on the remake after officially declining to lead the project. So, an official launch date for the Resident Evil 4 remake, as well as its supporting consoles, have not been announced, but Video Game Chronicles reports that it is being planned for a 2022 release. So, obviously, guys, we're going to begin Resident Evil 8 Village is going to be coming out in 2021, probably late 2021. I don't know if there's actually an official release date yet. And if there is an official release date, guys, you got to take it with a pinch of salt because there's a chance that it could actually come out sooner or it may be delayed because of the current world situation, obviously. Now, originally released in 2005, Resident Evil 4 is currently Capcom's highest rated game. As we had stated, guys, in the 15 years since, Resident Evil 4 has been ported and remastered multiple times, never remade, though. In a review of Resident Evil 3 Remake, we called it a disappointingly safe reimagining of a beloved classic, one that feels rushed, as if it could have done with a lot more variety and attention. And, you know, guys, I love the original Resident Evil games, but to be honest, I like the newer ones more. I would say from Resident Evil 5 onwards. Resident Evil 6 was okay. I didn't think it was great. I didn't really like that. I thought it was cool that you would play like different from different perspectives, like the same missions from different perspectives, but it did get a little bit old quickly. Resident Evil 5 was my favorite for a while, until, of course, Resident Evil 7, which is my favorite by far, and I can't wait for Resident Evil 8. But the remakes, guys, I think that they're pretty good. I mean, and so am I open to seeing a Resident Evil 4 remake? Absolutely. I would love to see that. We don't have a ton of detail on it outside of the simple fact of the matter that it's coming, or at least it seems like it's coming. They're already, that being Capcom, are kind of putting all the pieces together to put this thing, to get this thing out there, and it's supposedly coming out in 2022. But like I said, I'll be giving you guys more information as it comes out. What do you guys want to see? Do you guys want to see a total reimagining of Resident Evil 4? Or would you like them to, remake it, but like kind of really stick to what made Resident Evil 4 from the beginning something very special, and obviously the highest rated game in the franchise's history? Let me know, guys, in the comment section down below. And for more Resident Evil content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of The 8 Below Show. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.